Hello everybody, back here again for another vlog a day, and today is Tuesday the 16th, and today was a rather kind of chilly day, but overall pretty nice weather-wise. I decided to do my 11-mile run that I had today. I decided to go ahead and knock it out and do it outside, so wasn't really sure how it was going to go. I had the concept of having somebody drop me about 11 miles outside of town, then run back home. Was really kind of feeling that at first, but they're calling for some severe thunderstorms, and it was going to take me a little over 2 hours to get my run done. And I thought if I take off, because my grandparents had a doctor's appointment out of town, offered to drop me off 11 miles out of town like a unwanted dog and see if it makes its way back, I guess. But I realized with it being cold and chance of thunderstorms and rain in that, I didn't want to get caught. You know, if it starts raining half an hour after they drop me off, they're going the opposite direction. I got nobody to pick me up, and it's way too cold to be out there without, you know, this time of year like it is. It's like in the, I don't know, low 40s or so when I would have been out there, and then wet would have been a whole different thing. So decided instead I'd go back down to the reservoir where we had our 5K charity run and decided to do my running out there. Figured out it's about a 1.5 mile loop on one of the trails looping around. I decided also not to run with my backpack. Didn't run with any water, no food, no nothing. That's really not what I do in most cases. I ran with my iPod and my arm case, I guess, whatever. Had my phone in my pocket in case I twisted an ankle or who knows what out there. Got attacked by a squirrel or something, which I had one squirrel every damn lap would run down and chase at me. And it was funny after I realized he was going to be there, but first time I didn't know he was there, and he kind of startled me a little bit. The third time went by, I'd forgot he was there and startled me again. So definitely wasn't really feeling that, but oh well, it was a fun time. And just made my lap after lap, and then of course get done and you're at, you know, basically you're at 9 miles and I have 11 to go. So I end up running the 10.5, and then I've got that half mile to go. So I sprinted across the dam and then figured that was just a smidgen under a quarter. So I ran a little farther than that, and I kind of sprinted back at the end. So really felt good at the end. I really turned it up and was moving along pretty fast. I started out doing well, then I kind of slowed down a little bit, but the last little bit, that was a half mile there probably, I was rocking it, which is what I'm after. I want to always finish strong is my biggest thing. So today was my longest run I ever done. Actually probably was a little longer than 11 miles because my GPS is off a little. Every time I've ever checked it against like my buddy's Garmin and that kind of stuff on distance, it comes up short every time a little bit. So with it saying 11 miles, it means I probably ran a little bit more than that, but oh well. I wanted to make sure I run a little more than a little less. So that was definitely a pretty good feeling, a feeling like I was still going good. About a mile or so, 1.5 miles into it, I started getting like this crazy side stitch that made me want to literally just, maybe want to give up. It was so nasty. And without taking water, I stopped by the van every 3 miles. So every 2 laps, I stopped by the van and grabbed myself a drink real quick. And then at the 9 mile mark, I actually grabbed myself a drink and then ate a granola bar also. So I was feeling my mind started feeling a little mushy. So grabbed that. So I had about a 30-second stop every 3 miles. So not a big deal there, but I think that was worth it to me. There's also one other spot, I think about 4 miles in or so, I decided I was going to start walking every mile. So I walked for less than a tenth, so 0.5 tenths of a mile on the GPS is what I walked, which is about 35 seconds or so, and then took off running and then decided I wasn't going to do that the rest of the time. So kind of figured I would treat that as if it was a water station on a regular marathon and that. And so I felt pretty good about it. After that, I got down there, got back to the van, got all wrapped up, went and knocked out an hour on the elliptical machine at the gym to kind of wind myself down a little bit. So got rained on just slightly out there at running, but not enough to even really get wet. It was just like I'd sweated extra hard kind of thing. So that was a pretty good thing for me. So other than that, just the news and that, I've been avoiding the news about Boston Marathon bombing. I'm really a guy who tries to avoid anything negative in my life at all possible. So I talked to a lady for about an hour at the gym today when I was on the elliptical machine. We were kind of discussing our thoughts, but luckily she didn't have much more information than I did, so we really didn't learn nothing new. It was just the whole concept of just kind of seeing where we're going there. We talked about a little bit, then we talked about an old friend of mine who was a college professor that she knew his family pretty well, I guess, and stuff, so we kind of learned some insight about him I didn't know. So Other than that, good day overall. Lit a fire in the wood stove in the shop before I took off, and then hoping to be a little warm. I'm going to run in now. I'm going to grab myself a shower, maybe a bite to eat, and then I'm going to head out in the shop and get a few more things ready for taking up to the flea market tomorrow if I make it up there. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.